everyone. So I got some great news. Last Friday, which was the 2nd of September 2018, I had my 8th clear MRI scan, and so I've been doing a lot of celebrating, of course, and probably just about a month away now until first child is coming along, having a little girl. So I've got a lot to be excited about, and I'm so glad to get that scan out the way, because I just don't know what I would have done if I'd have had some problem with the scan just before my daughter's born. But yeah, a lot of things are happening at the moment in terms of fighting prohibition against cannabis. I'm trying to apply what I've learned through campaigning with Momentum to helping the cannabis community. The way I see it is that the only way we can get more police crime commissioners to come forward and say they support legalisation or a change in the law, or just to support the cannabis social clubs and have a regulated market, is to make sure that the public are on side. So I'm trying to just get leaflets printed out with information on the facts about cannabis, the facts that matter. Ones, most importantly, that dispel the propaganda from the prohibition lobby, like the pharmaceuticals and the alcohol lobby and so on. So I'm going to be trying to do a lot more podcasting. Hopefully I can get the guys in Wrexham eventually to do a bit more online media, and really we need a big drive in that across the whole cannabis community in the UK. We just need more and more activists doing live feeds, doing videos like this, putting them up online, putting them up on DTube where you can earn cryptocurrency, putting them up on YouTube, Vimeo. There's so many platforms, and I was watching a documentary today about how political classes used to use TV to manipulate voters, and how much more powerful they were back when TV was dominant. But of course, TV isn't dominant anymore. The internet is taking over, and that is why I want to see more cannabis activists getting online and expressing their opinions, just going through the science that we all learn, debunking the propaganda. We just need a huge network of pro-cannabis media being uploaded online. The more people doing it, I know so many people just get so shy of doing these things, but you got to have your eyes on the prize. When I go to these events where I have to go on a stage and talk to a load of people I've never met before about my story and why this is such an important cause for me, I couldn't have done that in my 20s before I used cannabis, because I didn't have the confidence to do it, and obviously I didn't have the drive to, given what happened to me health-wise. But people should remember that what happened to me can happen to anyone. Nobody's immune, and we all need to look out for each other. I don't know if many of you saw Elon Musk's interview on the Joe Rogan podcast recently. He kind of ended by saying something which some people say is cheesy, but needed to be said, which is that there needs to be more love put out there from humanity. And I agree with him, because the more people understand the reality that we live in and stop believing the propaganda and actually start waking up to the facts about the economy, about the way our governments rule these our country and so on, about, and this is not saying that everybody needs to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not really interested in the theories, I'm interested in the actual real conspiracies. And from my fight against prohibition, the amount of conspiracies that I've come up against, it's just been very eye-opening. It's made me feel the guy I was before in my 20s was a very naive person with very rose-tinted glasses on about the way I looked at the world, the way I thought, the government's there to protect you and so on. And in many ways they are, but when it comes to governments that have a corporate bias, and that is, what I mean by that is where a corporation can basically buy laws that suit their business, so they can bribe politicians with their huge profits. And then that means that a corporation is not elected, but has way more power and way more sway over laws than you do with your one vote. And that's definitely what's happening with prohibition, because the prohibition of cannabis is there because of corporations want it to be there. So yeah, it's really made me see that I have to have my ducks lined up and I have to know what I'm talking about. So the research is just never ending. And the way I consider my success against fighting cancer is that it's never over, because if I say that I was cured or acted like I was cured, I'd get complacent. I'd stop learning as much as I am today, which is so often every day I try to make the most of my healthy brain now that I can think properly, now that I don't have these cognitive disabilities that I had in my 20s that ruined so many relationships that I held dear. But also, probably one of the best things that's happened in recent months is obviously getting my driving licence back, because for 2 years where I've not been able to drive, because once you have brain surgery it's an instant 2-year ban, having the freedom that I have now and just being back on the road, being able to just get to places and be more active in the cannabis community, I can't put into words how good it makes me feel. But as always, thanks very much for your support, and join us in the cannabis community, even if you're not somebody that needs to use it or wants to use it. Just give us your support, because what we're doing is for humanity, is for the good of humanity, because there may be a stage where people that don't use cannabis need to use it for health reasons, and you want that insurance there. You always need to have those contacts, you need to have that education, because I was in such a bad place when I was first diagnosed, and I didn't have contacts and I didn't have education. That was very scary, and it caused a lot of stress. When you're stressed going through cancer, you just start pumping cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and if cortisol gets to your cancer, then it's going to feed off that. So you got to be up on these things. As always, I just want to thank you all for your support over the 2 years that I've been waiting to get my license back. And if any of you are ever affected by cancer or any kind of inflammatory disease, please get in contact with me and I'll try my best to help you, because the way I see it now is I have a lot of love for humanity now that I've come through this. I don't want to see anyone else go through this. I certainly don't want to see them go through something like what I've been through and not have the options that I've had. So thank you for everything.